Oh my God.
Welcome to every video we make. We use one little thing and then we build the narrative out of it.
Other people besides white dudes like Star Wars. I'm just saying, we need to be conscious of our bias.
Because who's
and it was on YouTube.
And he put it on YouTube. Yeah, new YouTuber just dropped. Sorry.
Shouldn't laugh about it, but it's a wild story.
All right. So beheading suspect. This just happened last night. At 7 p.m. last night, this guy, 32-year-old Justin Moan, cut his dad's head off in Levittown, Pennsylvania.
And that's not a metaphor for anything. Like he literally beheaded his father.
Beheaded, decapitated, removed the head from the body. And then, a little bit later, his mother came home and found it in the bathroom. And the head wasn't there because the head he had taken and put it in a pot and wrapped in a bag, put it in a pot, and then recorded a video where he said some interesting things and showed the head in the video and said that, was my dad. Basically, he was a government employee. We'll find the quote. There's dad with head. Michael Moan, poor guy, 68 years old, lived probably decent life. You know what I mean? Till last night. So officers located deceased male's head inside a plastic bag, which was inside a cooking pot in the first floor bedroom next to the bathroom. Machete and large kitchen knife were found in the bathtub. Victim's wife found it. Like, God damn, dude, that poor woman. Holy shit. And look at him. He's doing okay.
Yeah.
He's so recent that last night when I came across it, they hadn't actually charged him yet. They'd only arrested him a few hours after this happened, but they didn't actually charge us through until early this morning. So
yeah, we're not going to show anything. Don't worry. Mm-hmm. Middleton, PA was the area that he was from. I don't know if that's the city or the county, but Middleton was where it was listed.
So he uploaded a video on his YouTube channel. It's no longer findable. I already tried. This was last night, late last night.
Mm-hmm.
I had a strong suspicion that if his subscriptions were public, we might see some familiar names, but sadly, we'll never know. So after the 911 call, or before the 911 call, he posted a video. In the 14-minute video, he held up the head of his father, who was in his late 60s, said his father was a federal employee of more than 20 years. He is now in hell for eternity as a traitor to this country. And he called for a second American Revolution. Mon had made inflammatory statements advocating for attacks on federal employees and properties. He expressed hostility towards illegal immigrants, President Joe Biden, senior federal officials, communists, far-left woke mobs, Black Lives Matter supporters, and members of the LGBTQ community.
Oh, shocking that that's the group.
Sounds like a familiar list.
So is he a Democrat or a Republican? I just don't know. No, like you're not going to ever fucking see anybody on like the left that's going to use leftist language or progressive language to justify something like this. It's just, it doesn't track in any way, shape, or form, really.
But hey, us gay people are the threat. We're the ones that are the threat, not radicalized people like this. That's
I want to add an aspect there. You might see some crazy fucking communists or something like that being like, guillotine stuff.
Well, there's already people claiming this is a psyop. This is a plan.
Of course.
Yeah.
So in his rant, he discussed Christian scriptures, called for debt cancellation, called for more adherence to Judeo-Christian values, spoke about human trafficking, and accused a major tech company of tax evasion. Additionally, he claimed that militias should protect him and mentioned previous FBI threats of arrest. He asserted that both Democrat and Republican parties see him as the ideal presidential candidate in 2020. And look, after all the shit we just talked about those two other guys, is he wrong? No, sorry, bad joke.
Both the Democratic and Republican Party?
Yeah, both of them.
So his points echoed those of prominent online conspiracy theorists and far right.
By the way, can we talk about just the dumb shit of saying somebody's going to hell for not having American values? What the fuck is that even like?
They've managed to like really intertwine.
That's a level of brainwashing that I can't even wrap my head around. Like,
so this guy has, and I think his background in like it can kind of inform us quite a bit. So like he has tried to sue the federal government 4 times for giving him college loans. Because they gave him loans and they didn't tell him, and they told him, you know, that you get an education and you'll be able to get a career in the field that you get an education in, and he hasn't been. And he hasn't been able to get a career in that. So he's just got all this debt, and he just thinks that the government fucked him over by giving him this debt. And it's like, dude, that is the experience of a lot of people these days. You're not special. You know what I mean? Like, so there's a little bit of like sympathy with that aspect of it, but
yeah, I mean, it's a problem in itself, but like, yeah, it's a much bigger problem, and it doesn't.
But then he takes it farther and goes, but the reason that he can't get a job is because he is a victim of, you know, basically DEI. He's a victim of, you know, affirmative action, where like, because even though he's perfectly qualified and educated, they're hiring people of color or whatever, you know, instead of this very capable white guy who's just owed opportunity. And that's the kind of shit, like, there's a lot of crossover with the sentiment that he has expressed previous to cutting his father's head off, and the kind of content that we cover on a regular basis on our channels. It was kind of alarming the more I read into it last night, just like how this stuff just, I don't know, man, like the way that they talk about wokeness as if it's some specific definable thing, and yet none of them can define it in any way that is coherent or, you know, consistent.
I mean, that's how they game the algorithm, and how, frankly, I don't know how we could ever stop them without any sort of major change, because it's all outrage. It's all, this is destroying, you know, the white man, or whatever the fuck they're spinning it into. You know, all of it's negative towards you, and then people can just start like saying, yeah, no, my problems in my life have nothing to do with me, or even it has to do with like wokeness or shit, you know. And there might actually be problems in people's lives. Everybody has problems in their lives, but it's not because of, you know, affirmative action, or, you know, this, all this weird excuses they make. It's just, it blows my mind.
Well, I mean, it's bad enough you've got, you know, like political content creators and public figures out there that are pushing this stuff, and so they get the ideas in their head, but then they can't even watch a YouTube video about, let's say, a review for the Batman without Ryan Kinnell fucking supporting those notions by saying that, look, you know, there's no good white people in this movie. You know, they're all black people except for literally Batman. You know, but like, and Alfred, but you just don't add logic to it. That's crazy. Yeah, these things support each other.
There's no positive male characters in She-Hulk. There aren't any, despite the giant list of positive male characters. Shut up.
Or WandaVision, except for, well, you know, Vision.
The co-star.
Yep. I mean, you know, CGH, it's an ongoing question. I think it's a case-by-case thing, should be analyzed. But like, yeah, the conditions in people's lives they set the stage for, you know, presenting with certain choices and things like that. But yeah, ultimately we do make choices. I think that you got to consider the conditions people live in.
I mean, like, yeah, if someone's done something bad, right? Like, there's a difference between justification and understanding, right? Because at the end of the day, yeah, like there are choices involved, and you shouldn't justify bad behavior because of bad circumstances, but you can try to understand how those bad circumstances might have played a role in the decision being made ultimately, and try to maybe change things there to help prevent these bad stuff from happening in the future.
Yeah. And I do want to say too, by the way, that like, obviously this guy had some kind of conditions going on. I'm not even going to begin to like guess what it was, but anything but like psychotic shit that, you know, delusions of fucking grandeur, stuff like that. I guess I was going to guess. And those are the things that really made it possible for him to do what he did last night. I'm not saying that the content that on YouTube is going to like encourage people to cut their dad's head off. If that was the case, then there would be a lot more beheadings than we see. Because there's plenty of people watching this stuff, but not as many as there used to be. Anyway, you know, so I'm just making sure to say that like the content, YouTube content and podcasts and whatever else it is that people get this stuff, it really just serves to support this fucking false world that these people end up existing in, and then deciding that they are the one that needs to do something about it, right? whenever those people end up going that far, and it's just not good. I mean, it's a complicated thing, Chris. I don't disagree entirely. I'm actually one. I've gotten some lefties pissed off at me before for, advocating for, personal responsibility as a thing that does matter. I just don't think it's the be all end all. If not for my own choices and my own, deciding to take certain paths in my life, especially in the last several years, I don't know, I wouldn't even be here probably, but that doesn't change the fact that I'm still very much affected by conditions that are outside my control, including, and maybe you're lucky enough to not have who's in office affect you. That's great. Good for you. But there are plenty of people that are affected by it. And this assuming that because this is your experience that everyone else should have the same experience because that's what my experience is, that's a fallacy. It's honestly kind of naive. Just to consider that, everybody is affected by different disparate conditions that they live in.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bob's
right.
got a joke ready. You can feel it in his bones. Bob, what's the joke, man?
Knock, knock.
That's no way to get ahead in life. Oh, sorry. God damn it.
Oh, damn. You knew the punchline. God damn it.
Oh, moving on. All right. Yeah, that one's a dour one.
Whoa! What's that? Oh, that's a shit. Why don't you go and subscribe to it? I dare you. I fucking dare you.
Got it.